So I'd like to just talk you through this transmission, but I'd like to first just tell my story. May 12th, 2020, I was standing right over here in my kitchen. I had just gotten back from one of those rare walks when you leave your cell phone on your desk, just in case you get that call. Well, the call came and I missed it. The call came to my then girlfriend's phone. It was my sister. I immediately could hear in her voice that something was wrong. I thought for sure it was my father who was living in Finland, who's uh, in his late 70s, that he had passed, who had just recently had a ruptured colon and been raced to the hospital there. She said, he doesn't know. I hadn't found out. She said, Rick's dead. And immediately the strength in my legs dropped. I fell to my knees. I had no, he was my older brother. He was the Olympic athlete. He was on the World Cup ski team. He was the aerialist. They said he was out mountain biking with Lance, his son, one of his six children, hit his head and he's dead. I'm like, no, it can't be. That doesn't make sense. He's an expert athlete. He's an expert. It doesn't make any sense. And immediately got in the car, ran up to the bobsled trail. I didn't know where the bobsled trail was, trying to find it on the way. I picked up my sons, said, we've got to go. And got there, the first responders, the lights were all going. And it was everybody, so much love came together, gathering. Cousins, anyone who was in town was at the foot of the trail where the police wouldn't let us go up the trail till they brought the body down. When they brought his body down, his daughter, they opened the bag, his daughter put her hands on his face, held his face. And then zipped it up. That day forever changed my life. I've never experienced grief. I've never experienced what it means to have someone close to you die, especially not my brother who I looked up to. Siblings have a special relationship. They hold more of our reality of what life has been like than anyone else. They know secrets mom and dad don't know. They know they know things that we got away with. You know, and then we did together. The first cigarette I ever smoked was with my brother Rick, you know, up the canyon. The first, well, anyway, I'll stop there. We had some shenanigans. His death saved my life. Shortly after his body was recovered, they did an autopsy to find out what his cause of death was, to look into the cause of his death. And it was revealed his coronary arteries were 85 to 95% stenosis. That didn't make any sense either. Made less sense than he hit his head, you know, a David and Goliath kind of moment, perhaps. This was, he wasn't overweight. He wasn't fat. He had a time bomb like any of us could. It could be over today. My biomarkers shortly after were identical to his. I was following his ski tracks. He was the first Olympian our first World Cup athlete to pull off a triple backflip with a quadruple twist and land it in competition. Something that's done common today, but at that time it was the 4 minute mile, the Steve Bannister moment. I read all the books, Dean Orchard's, Colin Campbell, Caldwell Esselstyn, and about how to stop, prevent, and reverse heart disease, how to undo it, how to stay alive. And that same day, coincidentally, I bought this book, Clint Rogers' book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, that I've heard stories about both Steve and Jack have about their connection with Clint. In here, he talks about doing a mung bean detox. I didn't know what it meant to be plant-based, so I thought, well, mung beans, that's definitely plant-based. So I did a 30-day detox, and in 30 days, I had reversed and eliminated all of my cardiovascular risk factors to near zero. And Clint's a dear friend. Fast forward a couple years to 2022, I was with Clint in Tulum, and this is the real genesis of this book. We participated in an ayahuasca ceremony. I'm not sure if that's okay to say or not, but I just did. And I saw my brother and I spent time with him. We talked. I saw my ancestors. I felt a love that I've never felt before in this world. This love was so amazing that they had for each other and had for me. They could see into my soul. There was no hiding. There was no shame. They understood all my motivations and between each other and for me for why we do what we do and why we did what we did. It was so beautiful. Now, I'm not saying that you need to believe what happened was true or this is what happens. The saying I like best about what happens when we die is that it's from Keanu Reeves that said, "I'm sure that the people who miss us or the people who love us will miss us." And I think there's no truer words that can be spoken about what happens when we die. But this love that I experienced from my brother was so intense. I I I said, Rick, as the vision was closing up, I said, "Is there anything you want me to tell your kids?" And he just looked at me and smiled. And I was so frustrated. I was like, this is a chance I'm connecting. I can prove that I talked to you. Tell me something. I've shared that story with his kids, his older ones, and they said that's the most powerful thing he could have said. There was nothing to say. Just to know that he's okay. He's smiling was enough. And as it was closing up, he said to my brother said to me, "Hey, Mike, will you give Dad a birthday card for his from me for his birthday?" I was going home before the retreat ended to my dad's 80th birthday, and he told me what to write. And my dad's parents, my grandparents were there, and they said, "Will you give him one from us too?" And his grandparents, my great grandparents were there. I ended up giving him 13 birthday cards for his 80th birthday, filled with messages from his ancestors, and my mother's grandparents, his in-laws, filled with words of love. So I've been on this journey of what is the purpose of a heart. And recently I was in to see my cardiologist the other day. I have a complete clean bill of health, no soft plaque, no calcium buildup. Yes, a heart pumps blood, but it does more than that. It also energizes the blood in a structured way because there's no 4 pound pump that can pump blood 65,000 miles through the vasculature of the human body, 2.5 times around the planet, the way that it does. It's also a generator. It energizes the blood to travel that far. But that's not why we have a heart. You know, the purpose of our heart is for love. And why is it so hard to receive love? I'd like to share a few things with you and then get into the conversation. But if no one's told you yet today, you are deeply loved, and not because what you've done or achieved or proven, but because of who you are. Before any of that, you see, I didn't come here today to teach you. I came here to love you. And in that space, love will do the teaching. Why can't we receive love? Why is it so hard to receive love? The three reasons I've discovered in myself and others is we were taught to earn it. We've all been culturalized that love became a reward, something conditional, something transactional. Be good, be quiet, be strong, be useful, and then maybe you'll be worthy. We were also taught to protect ourselves from it. Somewhere along the way, love hurt or it didn't show up. And part of us decided, I'm never going to let that happen again. We also forgot who we are. The deepest reason we can't receive love is because we've become strangers to ourselves. We abandoned the innocent, brilliant, beating heart of who we truly are. And now, when love knocks, no one's home. But what if I told you you don't have to go out and find love? You don't have to deserve it. You just have to remember that you are it. You are love, having a human experience. I like to say you are divine, having a divine experience. You can't receive what you already are until you stop rejecting yourself and who you are. So, how do you do it? How do you receive love? Well, here's the process I've found. The sacred shift from resistance to remembrance is to number one, slow down. Come into the present moment. Take a breath. Feel your body. This now, this holy now, is where love lives. Step two, witness without judgment. Instead of trying to fix yourself, what if you simply saw yourself? The pain, the doubt, the joy, the brilliance, all of it worthy of love. Step three, say the sacred words. Try them now with me, with your hand on your heart. Say, I am loving awareness.
I am loving awareness.
I receive myself as I am.
I receive myself as I am.
I love what is and myself as I am.
I love what is and myself as I am.
And I am because we are.
And I am because we are.
Feel what opens up when those words are allowed, not forced, just allowed. You were never unlovable. You were never, you were just unreceptive. And that's not your fault. It's a survival adaptation that everyone has been culturized with. But it's not who you are. Love isn't something you get. Love is something you let. You let it rise. You let it soften. You let it flood. You open your heart like the sun opens the sky. So today I leave you with this simple remembering. You are not becoming divine. You're remembering you already are. You always have been and will be divine. You're not broken. You are holy wholeness in motion. And you're not here to impress anyone. You are here to bless everyone, starting with yourself. So go now, love yourself first, not as an act of selfishness, but as the ground upon which all other love becomes possible, because the world doesn't need more people who know how to give love. The world needs more people who have learned how to receive it. Thank you. I love you. Receive that.
Wonderful.